Okay, hey collective. I hope you've been looking good, feeling good, smelling good, eating good, drinking good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy in places with good people, doing good things. Let me see if I can shed a little bit more light on the subject. Feeling really abundant energy. Everybody knowing their position, staying the course. Um, this reading is more so about individuals. Let's see. So they're the entities of F around and find out, the entity of fear of missing out, and the entities of you only live once, which we kind of come to the realization is not true. And being in the energy of only living once gets you, I don't know, a lot of dismay is what I've been told to say. Somebody was attempting to deflect. Now, deflecting is actually to cause someone to change or someone to stop what they're intending to do. So, someone attempting to deflect caused, basically, had some illusions going on. There were these, oh no, I lost the thumbnail. There were these illusions of you having these feelings, like you were going to feel like you were missing out, or, they're deflecting this and putting it towards you, which is also called projections, right? And a part of this is that, like, if this is their biggest demon, because for a lot of us, we've already let go of these people. These are people who are so far from our lives. Like, some of these individuals are the first people that we ever thought of disconnecting ourselves from when we started our spiritual journey. These are the energies and the people that were like, oh, okay, I see why I left them out. Oh, okay, I see why things were rocky with them. Oh, okay, I see this and that. So these are people who we've already let go of a long time ago. For me personally, I know that they talk about, waking up at certain hours, etc., etc. So I don't know, but I was guided to get up one night instead of just like laying in bed and doing what my usual posture is to in response to waking up so early. So instead, I decided to go sit down in my family room, in the living room, and there's a glass sliding door in there that goes out to the backyard. And in that instance was where I saw the silhouette of the person from my past that continues to keep bothering me. Now, we all get things. We all get signs and synchronicities. That night there was a big storm and stuff, which also could have, contributed to what was happening and taking place. But I feel like people are getting a lot of signals and information and dreams um, to help them understand things. Nice. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Woo-wee. Okay. So I'm going to look at my notes really quick just to see what the notes are saying about this particular set of cards that have come out. All right. So we've got the Page of Wands energy. And that really speaks to and talks about someone's new inspiration, someone's new way of looking at things, someone's new way of confronting things or dealing with things. And someone's method of doing that has been in this death energy, this death card. Now, the 13, the death energy, means letting go of hangups. So someone is in the crust, like someone is really letting go of all these hangups, or someone has already let go. That's what I'm understanding. Okay, because that's what we were talking about. Like, these people were let go way long ago. So let me pull out this other set of notes. So all these energies that they're trying to project or deflect from themselves that they're feeling right now, some maybe even like, oh, okay, oh yeah, this is the good part. Okay, so everyone has to consider that there's nothing, free will makes no mistakes, right? You can choose to make a good choice. You can choose to make a choice that doesn't propel you in the direction that you're going, right? However, in that process is the sincere dedication to the new relationship or the new intention. So there's been a sincere dedication to the new in this person's life. And then the change and letting go of hangups has already taken course. As a result of this, okay, there's this autonomy. Now, people don't always understand autonomy. People think that, oh, well, if this person is in a connection and they mess up the connection, then I can win the connection if they mess up the connection. But it's hard for people who don't really conceptualize how they messed up the connection to understand how they're not able to even play, like their mindset doesn't even play an actual part. It's like they're caught in their own illusions that, like, oh, what I did in the past doesn't play. Oh, that's what that other, okay, let me find my phone because there's other notes in my phone. So this is where this emperor energy, autonomy, let's just look at that real quick again. Quality of state of being self-governing, meaning the freedom to make one's own decisions and choices to act independently. I cannot make this up. The cards flew out, but that's actually in my notes. Free will to make mistakes, sincere dedication to the new relationship. So someone may be trying to impede on like a connection or a union that's coming into play by saying, oh, this person had, had intercourse with somebody. Yeah, but was their intention to step out on the person, or was their intention to find out if their feelings for another person were real? See, there's a difference. If you've already committed yourself and you physically, consummated a relationship, you can go into that relationship literally like, you could leave from dealing with somebody that's just a cuddy buddy or that you weren't sure about. And after, most oftentimes after intercourse is when people start to see other people's true colors. And it could be a matter of hours. You leave this person's house, now they're texting you and bugging you and bugging you and bugging you. And it's like, oh, and in an instant you can realize why that was a mistake. And that's what saves people, their intention. It's like, oh, okay, if I have, divine feminine and divine masculine are allowed to have intercourse with anybody that they choose to. They're more cautious, I will say, because they don't want to have sex with someone who's on a lower vibration, because it connects to all this healing and relearning lessons that they didn't learn previously. Because when you share an intimate encounter with someone, you're also sharing some of your traumas, some of your life experiences, etc., etc. Now, a lot of these recent spells that they've been sending out have been to doubt the connection. So it can spiritually manipulate readings. It may cloak their energy to force the negative narrative on your person. So like if your past person was a cheater, they're going to say, oh, your new person cheated on you. But if you are cognizant enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to believe everything I hear, see, think. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to my person. I'm going to fill it out. And I'm going to use my intuition, because my intuition has not been guiding me in the wrong direction. It's my lack of intuition, or my lack of, I want to say, self-dedication, right? So in this emperor autonomy energy, you have the free will to make the choice. You have the choice to make a wrong decision. You have the choice to make a right decision. You have the choice to correct the wrong decisions in your life. And that's where people fall short. A lot of people want to look, oh, okay, let me get my phone. So there's this other part of it that deals with the mental aspect. And as I've been communicating, a lot of these individuals need to go get psychiatric evaluations. If you're dealing with someone that has been exposed to spell work or who likes to do spell work, you may want to consider that they are existing in a space of anxiety, and it's going to cause a lot of danger. Okay. So here's what I looked up, because I was trying to understand the difference between excitement and danger. And if you notice, I posted in my community section, I posted a sermon by Stephen Furtick, because sometimes stuff comes up on my timeline and I pop in. And what I was hearing in the moment that I popped in and started to realize that, like, oh, this may have some nuggets because it's popping up, and I've listened to Stephen Furtick as a pastor before, and I feel like he's a very truthful speaker. He's going for truth versus whatever else may be there. But what he said in that moment, I was just kind of like, oh my gosh. I was addressing other things in my reading here, right? But what he said was, he was saying something about don't overburden your process. Maybe I didn't write it down. It's also something about like when things don't go as planned. Okay, so let me just continue on because I can't find whatever it was I was talking about. But watch his sermon. It was something about, anxiety versus excitement. There we go. Anxiety versus excitement. That's what it was. So there's this whole thing about knowing your feelings, knowing your energy, knowing and being able to understand, hey, this is a projection, it's coming from outside of me, or hey, this is me. So that's what brings from this, like, I stand alone, I can do things on my own, I'm confident, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. Then when those other things try to come in and step in and, infract, I'll just say infract on someone's autonomy. Like, I can choose to make a bad decision, I can go and choose to sleep with someone and be comfortable and accepting of the fact that I'm going to learn the lesson, so on and so forth. I can be accepting of the fact that my person may have been involved with someone prior to their engagement with me. Some people almost misconcept the idea that, like, oh, it has to be this, oh, it has to be this. It has to be exactly what you and your person agree upon. And so no one can infract on that. Like, I feel like there's this infraction where somebody was trying to, like, put a flag on a play, and it was like, get your life. Like, it's not even your game. So essentially, so the only time that having intercourse will delay you is when you already have a contract that you've put into place and you've committed to that relationship. And I want to be very clear about committing to a relationship. That means that you and this person have discussed, we're together, we're an item, we're focused on trying to build this relationship and establish something more than what we currently have. That's that grounded energy coming from that Queen of Pentacles. Healthy in body. Like, we both shared, like, in our independence, we have this mindset of the Queen of Pentacles. So in our independence, while we're doing our own thing, where we have the free will to do whatever we want to do, right? We can choose to believe in illusions, or we can choose to understand our test, right? And that is where the autonomy brings you into this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is incredibly profound, because the Queen of Pentacles energy just means that you're healthy in body, you're healthy in your finances, and you're grounded and calm. Even if you don't have a lot of finances, you know what to do with them when you receive them. Some people may harp on others like, oh, this person is always buying things to organize their house. Well, maybe their North Node is Virgo, and it's imperative that they step into that level of organization in order to heal these wounds that come from this space. And that's a big part of it too. When you engage with someone and they haven't healed things and you haven't either, it makes you, that's what gets you in a karmic loop, because there's something you don't understand and the other person doesn't understand. The fact that you can walk away from an encounter and say, okay, this person is right for me, this person isn't, that's the vibration that you need to be in to be of a high vibration, is knowing, okay, what can I learn? Okay, that people that are, only out for one thing tend to bring a lot in the in the beginning, and then they fall short and they're the ones with their hands out. That could be the case, right? Now, we know that an intimate connection, and I'm talking about sex, if you've healed and that person deposits into you, or you go inside of them to connect in that way, those lessons can help you reflect. Like I said, there's no specific timeline. You could be with someone and then go, oh, that's what I don't understand about people too, is it here in my notes, it's like, oh, the karmic believes that they could actually have had a connection with you, got it all wrong, and that they're still entitled to a chance. But they feel like someone that is just starting out with you and you haven't committed to the fullness of the relationship, but you've committed to getting to know each other, that they have some rights and grounds to say, oh, this person can't be with you, oh, that person can't be with you, oh, this person messed up. And it's like, you don't have that power. You didn't have that power in your own circumstances to understand what you were getting wrong, or why this person was entitled, or why they're not, right? And that's the part that comes in, is like, it's not a threat. No one's threatening someone to leave them and move on and get on into another relationship, etc. It's a promise. It's something that's promised to an individual. Look at that light, pop on a bit more. It's something that's promised to an individual by way of them knowing when to hold back, what to hold back from. You may not be called to hold back from physical encounters, but you may be called to hold back from investing once you've had a physical encounter. You may be called to, hold back from physical encounters, but then you may be able to invest financially. Who knows? But no one else gets to say so, and no one else can dictate what is appropriate for you. I don't care if they say, oh, your ancestors aren't letting this person, or your ancestors. Well, the ancestors let the karmics come all up and around. They let them do whatever they wanted to and come around and, screw us and everything else, right? So why does someone believe that they have the right to say, oh, this other person is in, the wrong? That's not how this works. It's not how this works at all. And that's something that some people are starting to understand or maybe called to understand. Because it's like the karmic isn't blocked, but the divine partner is. How, Sway? That's an illusion. That's an illusion if I ever heard one. The person that cannot come in is the one that does not have a contract with you, or someone who had a karmic contract with you and failed to learn their life lessons. Those are the individuals that cannot connect. Those are the individuals that are sitting pressing energetic spaces, pressing energetic force fields, pressing their own mindset, those projections. Now, this fear of harm spell, let me tell you how that works. If you feel like, oh, people are sending people to my house, and they may be. People may be watching you and follow, and they may be. The reality of that is that when you accept that fear of harm energy, it's only, they only send it to you to gain an opening for a love spell, to try to trick you, to try to get your mind in a depressed energy. Anything that will put you into a lower energy. Oh, let's make them sad. Oh, let's, let's, I don't know, run over their cat. That's all I could think. Let's run over their cat and then see, how they feel. And on the day we know that they found out their cats, ran over, that's when we start to do this. That's all it is. The fear is only a tactic to try to intercept what you are working towards. It's an opening to allow an illusion if you so choose. Now, okay, let's go to some other stuff. I think I'm going to pull it. So that's why you've even been in an energy of feeling like, oh, okay, not even wanting to speak on certain things because it is beneath you. At a certain point, we do kind of realize and start to come to an understanding and a knowledge that things are just not as they seem. Things are just not as important. Things are often used as tactics or tricks or opportunities to dissuade someone. Now let's step into this other part, because this other part is really okay. Excitement, danger, anxiety. We're going to go through these, right? And you see here, it's that danger energy that they're using, right? Even though you're in this excited energy, you're looking forward to what's coming next. You've been, focusing on positive experiences and having them. You have a lot of opportunities. Remember all the possibility in the previous reading? And new and exciting challenges. So that, like I was saying, the challenges that you're seeing and that are coming towards you aren't ones to take you off your path. They are ones to see if you're still at least humble enough to know that you're learning a lesson. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the tests are just to make sure that you got yourself in check. Like, oh, wait a minute. Am I putting myself in danger? Is this a negative experience or is it a positive experience? And the difficulty, I think, for most people is that excitement, danger, and anxiety have the same feelings in the body, in the stomach area. So they all carry this adrenaline rush. They all carry a rapid heartbeat. They all carry unknown outcomes, a heightened sense of everything emotionally, and it's really intense, right? And so you have to decide where you live, because the danger only brings the things that you're not wanting. The excitement energy brings the other. Accepting that you can have these moments. That was also another part of it. It was, where is this? So someone is in the energy of not understanding, per usual, right? Like there's so much these people don't understand, and it gets them into these mental states that they are not even aware that they exist in. So spiritual bypassing. All right. So spiritual bypassing has a lot of the same symptoms as obsession, and that's what these individuals are suffering from the most, right? We can all clearly agree that they're suffering from a lot of trauma. Nonetheless, spiritual bypassing, I want to look at that a little bit better, because it's basically their avoidance of what they know they need to do for themselves, right? Spiritual bypassing is a way of hiding behind spirituality or spiritual practices. It prevents people from acknowledging what they are feeling and distances them from both themselves and others. So this person is probably realizing that it's distanced them from you. Now, when you're spiritual bypassing, you aren't aware of your own ego or your defensiveness, right? And you're not doing the emotional inner work that comes along with it. So when you're in a state of, you know, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling, down today or melancholy, spiritual bypassing sends you into this energy is like, oh, God's giving you so much, you have so much to be grateful for. When in reality, you're supposed to be curious about it. Like, oh, okay, what is this energy? What is this energy that I'm feeling, Or if you feel angry, it's like, I don't want to act out in anger, but I do want to understand where it's coming from. That's emotional health. The spiritual bypassing is, oh, I'm going to ask God to take away my anger. Where's your part? There's spiritual work that has to be done. Yes, definitely ask God to assist you, but you have to put in your own work, right? Anyway, I want to forgive this person, but, I want to talk to them about what I'm struggling with, et cetera, et cetera. That's emotional health. But spiritual bypassing is, oh, if God forgives me, this person should forgive me too. They should just turn the other cheek. You're forcing a situation and a circumstance, and you're not understanding that your struggle with this person is actually, your own fault. I'm fearful. I'm afraid like they might think I'm a bad person. When you have that emotional healthy way to respond to being fearful of what one might think of you is to understand why you're fearful of it. Am I fearful that they won't let me back into their life because I've already been a cheater? If it's yes, you got to go head to the grindstone with your cheating issues, with your infidelity issues. You can't go to this person and expect them to heal you. You can't say, oh, I can't be afraid of cheating on this person again. I'm going to just try it again, because that faith energy can also be a lie. Starve your fear and just focus on the faith. Like sometimes that's not a reality for people, especially when they're not doing the work, which is what we're seeing is spiritual bypassing. The only way that it throughout is in. I've said that. The only way through it is through, Seeking answers within yourself is what clears that energy. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? I think I'm going to do a separate reading on these people and what they're feeling right now, what they're going through. Yeah. Also, what we were talking about? Emotional, like the deflection or whatever that was. What were they just talking about? Spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing can also sound or feel like, well, maybe if I do this, they'll want me. Well, I know there'll always be back, or maybe he or she will will change if I just stick through this with them, or if I get a second chance, he or she will, I'll do better, or he or she will be back. Nobody ever is going to be as good as them as I was, or they're never going to love anybody like me. That is spiritual bypassing. That is the act of spiritual bypassing. Okay. And so that's what I believe is taking place in most people's energy. And essentially, again, these are individuals that you've long since let go of, and no one can dictate anything. So that's why that deflection energy was denied, making you feel like you had a fear of, you were messing around, you were effing around and finding out, making you feel like you had a fear of missing out on something. Anyway, making you feel like, oh, well, you got to do it because you'll never have a chance to again. It's like, what? I had this chance. Why couldn't I, be in that experience again? But also knowing the difference. Like if you're deflecting, if you are spiritually bypassing, if you're not looking at things. And that's where everyone's own, okay, let me pull some more cards on this. That's where everyone's, I want to say intuition and what is it? Your intuition and your discernment. Yes. Okay. So now that everyone is clear on, the fact that nothing can really thwart you, right? The devil is going to be busy in the city, right? The devil's always up to something. And it's a matter of whether or not you're, what is that I said again? Because that part was good, in my opinion. It's whether or not you have the sincere dedication and your intentions were pure or not. Am I going back to this past person to really give it a good effort, or really see what it is that I may have gotten wrong? Or, it's about the effort and the energy and the intention when you went You know, did I, text message back and forth with someone just to see, if what is it even? If I can find, I don't know, sometimes it's like pertinent information. Like sometimes this may be in a business energy because again, we're not just moving on to better partners, we're just moving on to better partners. You know what I mean? In all ways and in all ways. Nice. Who awful. People who also take themselves seriously. People who also are kind of looking through and seeing what's out there in the city. If that's eliminating the fear of missing out. Maybe that's what someone's not understanding. Like, okay, if we don't eliminate the fear of missing out, like, oh, what if this other person would have been better if they had met me where I am right now? If I had been as healed as I am right now today, would the relationship with so and so have been better? It's the ability to examine that without going too far into it. Knowing who you are, knowing, you're bigger than a page of wands, but handling it, being humble enough to say, this is my test. I understand my capabilities. I'm serious and my intuition is not off par. Yep. And being able to know those, those tricks, those things that people do to try to, Ooh, that was the other thing that I looked up. Overburdening the experience. That's also in Stephen Furtick's sermon. Now, one of the things I like, just a side note about Stephen Furtick as a pastor, the reason why I enjoy his sermon so much is unlike a lot of the other ones where they say, oh, and God has got to, and you gotta get it up, and they preach a lot on the negative. Stephen Furtick preaches on the truth of human existence. Okay. He is not going to hesitate to let you know when he failed in his household with how he was responding to something, because at the other side of that is what he figured out. And that's people's hardest problem. That's people's biggest problem. And that's where we're going into this metamorphosis, letting go of hangups. That's what that is. So the FO, what is it? FOMO, fear of missing out, is healed by going through the energy of letting go of hangups, transformation, the death energy, the 13. Okay, so let's see, what are we going to get for that? So eliminating the fear of missing out. So this fear of missing out, effing around and finding out, and YOLO. Nice. You threw the devil in the trash. You threw all of that demonic energy in la basura. La basura. Comprende? And then you moved on. And that's what I think is happening more often than not. Like in that phase of metamorphosis and letting go of hangups, it's not only letting go of what someone may have done to you and how that made you feel. Okay. The metamorphosis energy also comes through acknowledging, the part that you played in it. Is that your shoe? Was you out here being a pigeon? You feel me? Did you give credit where it shouldn't have been? Or did you just have a lot of stuff on your plate? Could be all of them, right? And then looking at that indecision, again, I love this one because this one to me is a heavy energy of being like able to sniff out the rat. Like I was saying earlier, when that storm came and I woke up at like whatever, those hours of the morning, the wee ones, I was guided just to go sit in my usual morning spot and watch to see what happened. And I'm not kidding you. Maybe that's a sign for someone else. Like go into your home where there's a space where you have a window where you can see outside to see if you can catch the silhouette of the individual that is trying to penetrate your energy. And that is nothing but just sitting and letting things be discovered. You're not calling on anything. You're just, when you're awakened, go and sit. Go and sit and ask to be able to see. Ask to be able to view all the possibilities of what could be, at play right now. What could be, there for you. So now, as a result of being able to be in an energy of constant metamorphosis and, letting go of hangups and sniffing out the rat, Two of Swords to a lot of people looks like, indecision or, but it is. It's also a moment for blind faith, right? With discernment, okay? So that's why we're coming into that autonomy. Discernment lies only within self, right? That's what autonomy means. understanding that you are. Yeah. That's how you under. Woo! A few minutes ago, I said something about being overburdened, right? That was another thing that was in Furtick's sermon, was don't overburden the situation. So the divine feminine energies have probably learned, like the divine masculine has learned, like not to take, like he knows where he's at. For the divine feminines, you may be understanding that to not overburden the situation is to not let your mind go away, run away with you. If someone says, "Oh, I saw your person was so and so," oh, okay. Like you can't just jump on the bandwagon of a wrong energy, and that's what's happened. You are no longer jumping on any type of burdened energy because you stand alone. You stand alone. You can't be balanced and you up in this Ten of Swords, right? And a lot of it has to do with your uniqueness, your uniqueness, in the way that you evolve. Like even if you have siblings that have the same two parents, right? It's the way that you evolved, the ways that you changed your ways of thinking, and stuff like that. The star energy is standing out again. And if you're, an only child, or you have siblings which a lot of half siblings, some of those siblings don't, like if you have a half sister, you don't probably consider that person your sister because your DNA is specific to your parents, right? So they don't even contract or compare. It's like they can't take away from you or exist, within you because it's a whole different slate entirely, right? A whole different slate. Yeah. Maybe there's a lot of people want to kind of dig into your energy of sentimentality and kindness and things like that. To affect your being grounded, but that's not gonna work. A few cards fell on the floor. That's not gonna work. That would only take place if you if you'd had no intuition, like if you had no insight, and your intuition has not left you. Your intuition has never left you. It's only gotten heightened and more strong and more secure, right? All right, so in this Queen of Pentacles energy, Queen of Pentacles is that balanced, healthy in body, finances, grounded, and calm. Ooh, nice. So these are the two cards that fell out. I put them back in. They fell out again. So again, that intuition, always leading you, always guiding you. Someone knows better than to make a bad decision. They're moderate. They're calm. They really do live in that temperance energy. Nice. This is so nice. So there's the High Priestess and there's the Two of Cups. A lot of personal power, like I said, that autonomy coming out of that Emperor energy, a lot of personal power, and duality. So that's probably why the like intuition about who to work with and who not to work with, who to accept, who not to accept, right? So that Two of Cups energy, two is also always talking about duality. And the Cups is just a partnership, attraction that has a lot of stable emotions. It's almost even if the opposites attract, right? It's new. So that's what this grounding has done. The grounding has also stabilized your intuition, making sure that you know better than to fall into any deception or deviations. Yeah, look, the Page of Cups and the Temperance card came out after that. Oh, there's a lot of synchronistic communications and messages and stuff like that, because that Page of Cups is it's really giving. Like every time I see it, I just feel very refreshed by it. That may be what you're holding back here, is like how, again, it's not even I'm holding back. It's not anybody else's business. This is just what is to come because of these things that have transpired, Again, it says it's not a threat, it's a promise. There is no threat to, from the collective to anybody. There's no threat. It's a promise that we're going to remain who we are. That we're going to remain steadfast. We're going to constantly go within. Like, these are just the cards that are popping up right now. We're going to continue to work hard. We're going to continue to face whatever it is. We're going to continue to enlighten ourselves. We're going to continue to call judgment. We're going to continue to make people, to put people out where they belong out. There's a difference here. There's a huge difference, you know, between someone who spiritually bypasses and someone who does the spiritual work. That's what that world card has given me. It's like, this is complete. Maybe even the collective holds back how complete the cycle is because they enjoy continuing to do what they're supposed to. It's like, oh, I won't be in the energy of actually, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Losing out on any money. And, you know, it's like, oh, yeah. It's like, why would anybody want to expose the fact that they're in a better stance or a better place or better position than others? Why would people not want to allow themselves the opportunity to enjoy what they are receiving? That's what that Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse. Someone wants to, you know, Pentacles talk about material thing. People want to put you in that double-mindedness, right? Keep you out of the transformation energy. Make you feel like you failed. Every time you have a lesson, oh yeah, that mental, you know, that Eight of Swords energy. Yeah, that doesn't fly. It feels like that Wheel of Fortune is just too big. Like anything that tries to even cut the potential or place the potential or look in a different direction, it's always placed back where it belongs, which is right over here with this Ten of Swords in the reverse and the Two of Swords. So nobody here, there's nothing being given to this. There is no potential. Okay, thank you, Spirit. There's no potential for any double-mindedness. There's no there's no energy. There's no potential for any overburdened energy. Okay, people trying to do that don't understand what the Two of Pentacles means. They don't understand what, you know, they don't understand a lot. Let's just put it that way. So I like the way this spread has ended because that Ace of Pentacles coming out in reverse. I mean, some people just have to understand like the potential doesn't exist right here because this is done. Autonomy, metamorphosis. You can't, once that's complete, anything coming into to try to intercept any of this part gets met right here. It gets stopped right here. It gets stopped right here. It doesn't move on into this era where you actually complete this process. That's what people know too. I think a lot of people see that. I think maybe it's just more difficult for people to believe who are staying in that mindset of, what was that I just said earlier? People who are being held accountable for their own, you know, wrongdoings. And then also people, let's see, what was this other thing? What is it called? Doing this spiritual bypassing or trying to throw off their karma on other people. Now, I wanted to speak really quick on this enchantment spell. And enchantment, the word enchantment in the Bible means something covered or muffled up. So it's just trying to cover or muffle up what you already see, what you already know. It's in the book of Exodus, chapter 11, chapter 7, verse 11. It's also in Exodus chapter 7, verse 22, Exodus chapter 8, verse 7, and Exodus chapter 8, verse 18. Ooh, and it even speaks about Egyptian magicians imposing the credulity of Pharaoh. So, just to touch on all the spirituality of it, I guess. Now, another reason they use enchantment spells is because it may increase the chance of them catching, you know, a treasure. You know, it could increase the chance. So if I can get someone to be illusion, I could get them to pick up the phone and call me and get them stuck in a toxic cycle of having conversations, not really knowing how to end the conversations or to, you know, cut off the connection, right? But if you're in the right mindset, you say, oh, okay, this person is spiritual junk. You know, you're able to say, okay, you know, you're able to walk away because you know where your boundaries are to be put up. You don't always know that the boundary needs to be there until someone shows you that they have the character of someone that you would need to protect yourself from too. So not a big deal, in my opinion, you know, especially when people are doing this, you know, enchantment energy, like, oh, let me, you know, this is funny to me. Okay. So that's it here. As far as I'm understanding, there's this justice energy that just keeps popping out. And then the other card that came out is Two of Pentacles, which is just, confirming the partnerships that are being established, right? Judgment being called on old, business affiliates, associates, etc. I'm bringing in this Two of Pentacles. I get what I want. You get what you want. You like pepperoni. I like cheese, right? That's what's being seen. Now that this person is in this Emperor energy and unburdened, this person is standing in their duality and autonomy and balancing and adapting to everything that they're experiencing in the material world, right? Staying grounded in the material world, right? Having balanced emotions and being able to not just see be tied to an ego of, oh, me, but like, how does this affect other people? Should I be honest with them about the fact that I'm not taking this seriously, and they might be, because that's always a problem for people. Like, well, maybe they'll say no to me if they know that I'm not. You can't do that. That holds you back. This person hasn't been in that. They got grounded. They saw what was important. They used their intuition and decisiveness to move forward with judgment and bringing about a lot of material balance. Material balance could just be, I have, a good support system around me. I have employees who listen well and take instruction well. I have, a good relationship with my children. It's all these things that you can afford yourself to feel grounded, to feel wealthy. It's not always money, and that's what a lot of people forget. It's not always money. All right, I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.